Hello, guys. Happy witching hour. And again, happy full moon to y'all. This is High Priestess Jamila, and I'm a little sleepy, but I wanted to come and talk a little bit about, and I can't even remember the title because I had set this show up probably about 30 minutes to an hour ago. Sorry. Give me a second. Let me. Okay. Yep. Yep. When there is a problem are either problematic people. Um, and when you notice things are on repeat or things just don't make any sense, okay? Things that are senseless, okay? Um, typically means what? Hold on a minute. Okay. What it means is that it doesn't belong in your reality. Um, is what that means. Okay. When you've had a life that has made sense, some people never had a life that made any sense whatsoever, regardless to, um, what people's thoughts or ideas of it is, which means things like, being divorced, being a single mother, maybe possibly growing up in the projects or things of that nature. There are going to be people that are going to be judgmental. Okay. Um, but when it's just something to where you're looking at it and it's kind of like you don't necessarily recognize it, and the people that are sort of within that consciousness, okay, are constantly pushing and pushing and pushing and trying to pull you into it, typically means that you're dealing with this consciousness of this reality that really doesn't have anything to do with you, but rather something is either trying to suck you into that reality, or it could be someone. Okay. So a lot of times, like, how, like, when you look at certain stuff and it's like, this is goofy and this is weird and this just doesn't make any sense. And so a lot of people, just like myself, has made the mistake of trying to become accustomed to it or to try to get adjusted to it. But in reality, your ancestors are really, really pushing you to not get accustomed to it, which is that constant chaotic type of situation. You don't want to get accustomed to it, even if it's something that you grew up in, because I honestly believe that it starts with your family, it starts with your ancestors. What environment, what consciousness, what realm or reality were you raised in? It's so many different. It's so many different. And, I think that the main aspect that a lot of people are dealing with, in particular, when it comes to my clients, they can either be dealing with, number one, the gang stalking realm, okay? Number two, the realm of, it's sort of like religious intolerance. And though and then some people can be in a realm of misogyny. Some people can be in a realm of murder where there's a lot of violence, poverty. Okay. Typically in the gang stalking reality, there is a lot of poverty in the gang stalking reality. And the reason why is because The people that are actually doing the gang stalking, those are the puppets. Those are the puppets. Okay. And they are not all the way there and consciously even aware or even in control of themselves. Okay. And the reason why the poverty comes in is because it's a very unproductive, unhappy environment where, things cannot grow, right? For example, when you see people that are in a reality, or either a part of a reality to where, they'll have house plants and they'll just always die. You know what I'm saying? That can be one example, which, taking care of house plants, I have an aunt that does that, and she has some very, very healthy plants. Um, I think that that is a gift, right? I think it depends on the total environment of where you're at. You know what I'm saying? In order to successfully do that, grow agriculture, grow vegetables and fruits and things of that nature. If you live in a certain reality where there's a lot of death and decay and it's very imbalanced, then you're not going to be successful in that endeavor. Things are just going to die. And so there's a lot of people, they'll try to attempt to do that and then it doesn't work. And they'll say, well, that's because, they've cursed the land and the dirt and everything is all cursed and stuff. And that's actually not the reality. It's your consciousness that is creating that. Everybody is creating their own reality. Unfortunately, there are some people whose their reality and what they do, the decisions that they make every day, is unfortunately created by someone else. And their actions, okay, speak volumes of every single day, the reality that they live in. And, if you know self, a lot of people will say, well, the world is changing. Mm, I'd say the world is evolving, but I'd say that what I'm speaking about has been something that has been going on for a long time. It's one of those things that's sort of hidden under the radar that people just don't see. Okay. If you live your life a certain way, and then all of a sudden a doorway or a gateway becomes open, and many witches find this happening, it kind of happens spontaneously because you're not necessarily aware. You have to kind of learn it the hard way, to where when you start opening up those channels, you may open up a channel that you don't want to, and you have to shut that channel down. You have to close that door. You want doors to be open for you, of course, but there are some doors that need to be closed. Okay. Now, one thing I can tell you is that people from these other realities, and they seek out healers, they seek out empaths. Typically, they are very narcissistic. They seek you out for energy because it makes them feel better. Okay, they're constantly on the pursuit of you. They want to pull you in so that they can use you for whatever purpose. Okay, and so those people can either be consciously aware of what they're doing or they may not be. They could be getting used. Like I said, they could be a puppet for some other, for the faculty. Y'all gonna hear me talk about the faculty, and I'm not talking about aliens. Okay, human beings are capable of some pretty amazing things. So I can honestly say that my shamanic ancestors were definitely 100% human. They were. They may have possessed supernatural powers and gifts, but they were human. Okay. You don't have to feel like you're some alien to feel powerful. That's a side effect of being in these alternative realms, that don't make any sense. You don't have to be half human and like a humanoid in order to possess spiritual gifts. Humans are pretty powerful within themselves and have been since the beginning of time. Okay. Um, so if it's not making any sense in some, it's the same thing where you got, okay, so let's say you're walking down the street and you're in your reality and another person is walking down the street, maybe either in the opposite direction or they're walking past you, and they come up to you and they just start talking gibberish, and you're like, what the fuck is this person talking about? What are you talking about? And they may be talking to you like they know you. They may, I mean, just completely batshit crazy to you. To them, it's going to make sense because that's the world that they're living in. So that's why they're going on and on and on about things that it's like, well, no, that, like, what? And see, when things like that starts happening, that is a sign from spirit. Spirit has started sending me signs years ago, and it was so weird. It really was, because I was at the mall and I walk in and I go in, I do whatever I'm doing at the mall, which I think I was paying my phone bill, my cell phone bill or something at the mall. And I come back out after I pay my bill, and there's this black guy that's in a car, and he's like saying something crazy to me. And this was when it had first started. He had just started, and I was like, what the hell is wrong with him? Just, it was like so random. And my spirit guides ain't gonna ever let some random person murder me or my loved ones. It just ain't gonna happen. He seemed very unhinged, psychotic. He drove off and was just like, and I'm not used to having those kinds of experiences at all. But spirit will send you these signs of that, and it definitely is connected to gang stalking. But see, there's not just the world of gang stalking, there's also the world of drugs. So there's the drug world, which is a totally different world. You're not going to understand that world if you're not in that world. The world of drug addiction, the world of controlled substances. You're not going to understand that if you're somebody that doesn't do those drugs. A person that does do those drugs is in that reality. This is the reason why a lot of people that have loved ones that are drug addicts, that are and dealing with addiction, this is the reason why you ultimately end up kind of isolating yourself away from them, because when you are dealing with that person that is on that drug, you are actually dealing with that drug reality. Now the goal is to not allow these other realities to merge or intercept with yours. That's the goal. Many, many people have mastered this, no matter what world it is, no matter what some psychotic person is telling themselves that you're supposed to be involved with. The goal is to not allow those worlds to merge, to make sure that you don't get uplifted and pulled and, like I mentioned, hijacked into their world. Now, if y'all notice that, I'm going to tell y'all something. Every single time, I'm going to give you an example. These people on the internet, which I call the TV people now, okay? It's poltergeist, okay? I truly believe that Lou Carol Ann was like me. I don't know why. I'm sure a lot of other people feel that way. So I'm not trying to say I'm special and no shit like that. Um, Whenever the TV people start acting up, I light up my burn jar. It's a shamanic burn jar. Completely grounds me, my loved ones, my business, my clients, just all of my affairs, internal and external affairs, grounds them in my reality so that no other reality or people from any other realities can have any effect because they want to. You don't have to keep writing petitions. You just burn it, And there it is. And um, so that's pretty, it's very convenient, you know. And the thing of it is that you want to catch it early, because what will end up happening is that you will, you know, it can take them a while to completely submerge you into their reality. And if you ever completely get pulled into their reality, it's important for you to pull yourself out. Okay. So we're not just dealing with the need for soul retrievals or the need to take back your power. Yeah, while you're in that reality, it is important to take back your power. But I think that the first step needs to be to pull yourself out of that reality. Now, a lot of the people that are unconscious, they can't do this while being unconscious. It just, it doesn't work. So if you've got somebody that's an empty seater, they can't say, well, I need to pull myself out of the reality where, I'm not able to do these things to people. They can't say that. You have to be someone, because it's connected to the heart, right? It is. It's got a deep connection with the heart chakra. So people that are doing what they're doing can't master this because somebody is mastering them. More than likely, the person that's mastering them is like a very scary and powerful Morpheus type of character that is already against them already for the actions that they're taking. And they're not really learning soft lessons, they're learning very hard lessons. And that's what they're supposed to, because, they're considered to be undesirable in any reality. What the hell is that? Wow, really? I'm not drinking that. I don't know what the hell got in my some kind of flake or something fell in my damn iced coffee. I'm gonna have to make some more. It was 3 o'clock in the morning. I think I'm just gonna have me a little bit of root beer, either some water. So, and it's one of those things that I think that even if you are a witch that practices like folk magic or kitchen witchery, I think that it's an important skill to unlock and to learn. By the way, I am teaching courses on that I only require 33% down of whichever course that you're taking, which means that you can get started for as little as $110. Okay, so get at me about that. Okay. Even if you don't have a shamanic background, it's still one of those skills in witchcraft that you have every right to learn. In particular, if you really, really, because what you'll notice is that the longer you stay in their reality, the weaker you get. Especially the gang stalking reality, the churchy reality. If you have been sucked into a reality ran by the church, your magic ain't gonna really work. In fact, it's really no magic, and it's very depressing. I've actually entered into realities where there was no magic, and it was just like, where the fuck am I? You know what I'm saying? And like, it's a hard cookie for a lot of people to swallow. Like, there's a lot of people that are watching this, they're just like, especially the people that are in control. I'm sorry, the people that are being controlled, when they have their puppets are already programmed to freak the fuck out when any information is given to them that may help them. And sadly enough, a lot of those people were raised to do that. They were raised from a child, whether or not it was intentionally. This was something that they were raised in, and it just is what it is. And They're gonna basically say, oh, you're the devil, you're demonic, because this is making me feel uncomfortable. And they just go off on the whiz out. They just and they can't handle that information. They can't. Just talking about it kills them. Like they're just like, oh my God, they get nauseous, because it's almost like a uh like a programming, okay, that has been put into them, because it's meant to keep them in control. Okay. And they're the ones that's meant to be the procurers. They're the bodies, the blood bags that go out, and and that's why they're constantly repeating the same thing over and over again. I'm not trying to diss and degrade anybody that has gotten involved or is sort of in that. I'm trying to help. Okay. But you got to be able to check yourself and say, wait a minute, didn't I just say this 2 days ago? Ain't I been saying the same thing for 10 years? At some point, you got to learn to keep your lungs in your body. At some point, you got to stop letting them suck you into that. It's the suck zone. It's almost like a tornado. They just go, and then you go, and then you go. The longer and the longer that you do that, the wake up call will come. Now, that doesn't mean that they have everything to do with everything that's happening in your life. No, practically everybody that you deal with is sort of dealing with their own reality. And this is how you learn better parenting, also. When you have more than one child, your children are born with their own minds and bodies and spirits. And of course, as their parent, you have the right to say, no, I want this for my child. I want that for my child. Um, but it literally is like that. Like, you have to understand that, and it's important for you to be involved. Like, for me, like, I'm a mother of four and I have a grandchild. Like, honestly, I run a full service business and I'm a teacher. I don't have time to deal with people that are stuck in their realities where they repeat the same thing over and over again. Now, a lot of people will say, well, damn, why ain't they picked them people up? Why haven't the police picked them up? Because in their reality, the police ain't tripping off of that, right? That it's, they're able to um, avoid that. It's almost like a normal experience, you know what I'm saying? However, eventually, there is going to be a day where even in their reality, they're going to end up in jail. And guess exactly what they do? Guess what they do when they getting picked up by the cops? Guess what they're going to say? Doesn't matter what race they are, no matter what age they are. They're going to say, I didn't do nothing, is what they're going to say. Because a lot of them barely are conscious. Okay. So your frequency should not be sub-zero. But there's a lot of people that are, and it, for many, many different reasons, right? So that's why, things like that happen. And it's so weird. Like, I look at a lot of things, like that case where that guy over in Florida ended up getting tased and shot. You could tell that something else literally was controlling this guy. He kept saying it was Yahweh or Yahweh or something like that. And it was, when you're looking at it, it's so bizarre, and it does make you feel uncomfortable. It's like, what the hell is wrong with these people? Why? Uh, you know uh, uh, it's so weird. But then after a while, you start to realize, like, and I'm gonna tell you something, some of the symptoms of it, And some people are not really aware. Some people are rushing through life and they just don't take the time to realize what's happening. You walk outside and the color looks different outside. The sun feels different. There's a funky smell outside. You know what I mean? Just in the air, just like a stench. You feel different. Things are, and you're like, wait a minute, what the hell is going on? And it's very trippy, especially if things are happening and, they will try to pull you, your mama, your daddy, your brother, your sister, your daughters, your sons. They want to pull everybody into that world. And this is how a lot of your Jim Jones are able to get away with what they get away with. And I mean, I understand that there are some people that are more prone to that mind control that they, are dealing out. But, there's a lot of people that are not, you know what I'm saying? So, and it just, it's a lot of people. It's not enough people that are really paying close enough attention, which is why they attack people like me. And I honestly still don't, I don't understand why they're still attacking. I'm way too untouchable. That's a fact, okay? And that is because my spirits, including God, the Most High, I'm on my path, which is where I'm supposed to be. So ain't nobody touching me. You can try to flag my channel. It is what it is. It's not going to work. It's not going to help. Okay. So, and by the way, guys, there's another channel that I am going to link to you guys. And y'all can go over there and sub there. Um, Cleaning them out of your reality, I'm thinking that it's gonna probably take up to 6 months, and they may keep trying. Who knows? Them trying is totally different than them succeeding, especially if it's being done on the internet. That's something that you can pretty much ignore. Now, if you have one of them in your real life, which is, I would eliminate anybody from my real life that is involved with that personally or that is being used as a puppet. Unless it's my child or something, you got control and dominion over your children. If it's a mate or maybe even a friend that is like an agent for that shit, at some point you're gonna have to be like, hey, this shouldn't necessarily be a part of your consciousness. It shouldn't. Okay. It shouldn't. And you'll find that once you start to separate from that, once you pull yourself out, it's almost like a inner world within the world, and it's like a pocket. It's like a place, very constricting, very restricting. There are some people that are in that reality that can't even look up at the sky. They can't. It's just these particular people that exist. That's all they think about all day, every day, and that's just not a good place to be in. It really isn't. You know what I'm saying? And there's a lot of other different realities, but I think that the main ones that people are dealing with is the gang stalking reality, the drug addict reality. And then also there's like a death realm or something. I've been there. Is it the valley of the shadow of it's the valley of death or some shit. I've been there so many times. It's just a bunch of dead people. It's not that big of a deal to me. Okay, because I've been communicating with the dead since I was a baby. So that doesn't freak me out. Okay. It doesn't. So It's not beguiling to me. It's not scary to me. Okay. So, if it's goofy and weird, it's just like, oh, it's like, wow. And separating yourself is very important. You'll start to get better at separating yourself. You'll start to, I mean, it literally, grounding is one of the most important things. A lot of people think that grounding is just about neutralizing negativity. It's not. I don't suggest staying in those realities. I don't, because you're going to be very limited within those realities. Don't stay in those realities. You may even be able to survive in those realities. Some people have created a reality where it's just like a damn video game. You want to stay in the reality of Grand Theft Auto? Some people, I guess some people might think that's fun. I personally like cherry blossom trees and lavender fields. I'm not into that shit, okay? You know what I'm saying? Some people have created, really awful realities, okay? Like worse than that. The sex trafficking reality, okay? The reality that, like a few years ago, it was a lot of stories about them snatching young girls up off the streets. And I said, shit, I said, let me hurry up. And I did a lot of protection for my kids, but all of those realities, that is a reality that was created. It's very different from what, and this is the reason why you have your fate and your will that you're born with, but then fate can change because you run into certain people. Your job is to make sure that your fate is set within your means. God gives us the power to do that. That is a fact. And I'm not going to argue with anybody about that, because God is love. God does not hate anybody. That's a lie, right? So why would God purposely make you suffer? So there's people that have different relationships with God, though. There are some people that are going through suffering and they're being told God is doing this to you. And that person may not even deserve to suffer, but they're being told God is doing this to you. And it's up to you if you believe it or not. You have to know thyself. Okay, and it don't matter if your friends are doing it. If it's like, well, if your friends jump off of a damn bridge, are you gonna do it with them? Come on now, shit. I'm the divine mother. I'm not the other mother. I'm the divine mother. Okay, my job is to preserve and grow life. That's what I do, even though I can reside over death too. But when it comes to, I don't leave children behind like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not here to destroy people's lives. Okay, I'm here to enrich. That's what I do. Okay, as a woman, that's why my body is able to produce a placenta and an amniotic sac and breast milk for a baby. Okay, all right. Now, I take my job very seriously. So, just make sure that y'all understand that. They are living in their own little world. Literally all I have to do is put up a video where I'm on camera looking cute and they got something to say. They holler that, and there is no love involved. I'm very good at reading people. It is severe hate. If these people get away with it, they would disfigure everybody's face that they're jealous of. That's how disgusting they are. Okay, so it's not coming from a place of love at all. In fact, it's a desolate place where you're not going to find no love and happiness, joy, peace. And you got to understand, for somebody to be so negative, that's called sub-zero. Okay. And where they're at, the reality that they're in is very negative. That's why they have to speak negatively about somebody every single day. And I'm not talking about just kind of, you know how like you may comment on certain things or you may disagree with somebody, but they have to be extremely negative, extremely, to the point where, not only are they trying to pull you into their reality, but they're basically trying to bury you. And you can't let them do that. Okay. Keep them wings intact. So you guys can reach out to me if things are crazy. I've had people, they get scared. They don't know what to do, right? They think if I go to if I go to some, well, because I had somebody that I did a reading for, and it was very enlightening. Like I was like it was like I said, a light bulb when I said, "Well, I'll be damned." I said, and spirit said, "Mm-hmm, mm-hmm." And yes, they do have people doing ritual prayer, doing their little weird stuff within their reality. They do. So, that's what you're up against. And you can't be scared. You know, I think that our world leaders were really trying to tell us this, and it just is what it is, especially through that movie The Matrix. Notice how Neo was one person. Yes, he did have his crew, but when he was fighting with all those agents, he was by himself in battle. So, they try to increase their fold, and it's similar to that. You can't feel scared of them just because it's a lot of people, even if it's a lot of people, right? Which honestly, they're very limited to the amount of people that are actually involved with that, because where they're going, you don't even want to know where they're going. And from what I've been told, it's not a good place. Death would actually be a relief compared to where those people are going. Okay, even the ones that, you know you have a responsibility to control your own mind. You're not supposed to allow somebody to just puppeteer you. Everybody that is being a follower and being puppeteered has a lesson to learn, and they can't avoid it. They will try to be very scary, very negative. You just have to, I say, believe in your own thoughts. And they will repeat things over and over again, try to put shit out in the ether. You got to get it to where, their words, their wants, their desires, when a person talks, there's a mist that comes from their mouth that only affects them. And it just is what it is. Okay. And you can work on the other stuff, reversing it's not to say that you don't have to do your reversals. You don't have to do them as often. uh it depends on where you're at, you know what I'm saying. A lot of us, they want us pretty bad because they feel like they're very codependent. They want, they, especially the healers, with my background, with my ancestors being, uh the natives in the Trail of Tears, that's a lot of power and resilience and a lot of wisdom within that. And there were many shamans and healers that were involved with that. So they want you pretty bad. And for some reason, they think that they can take you, hijack you, and bound you. And that they try to look at history to try to gauge whether or not they can get away with that. But it's pointless for them. And it's because of evolution. So that's why it's pointless. Okay. The universe is in control. The universe is saying evolve or die, one or the other. So it doesn't matter what they want. Doesn't matter. Okay. All right, y'all. I have openings for the weekend. You guys are more than welcome to go and schedule at divineservicesapothecary.com. I am accepting students to start like next month, but you guys can still start as soon as possible. There is going to be a time frame, and I'll talk to you guys about it behind the scenes, as far as to where I'll be traveling, but I'm going to pick right back up as soon as I get to where I'm going. Okay. So you guys can if you guys are interested in the shamanic witchcraft courses. A lot of y'all are like, well, I don't want to learn that, I'm scared. If you need work, you guys can contact me as well. Okay. All right, y'all. I will catch y'all later. Y'all have a good one. Have a happy witching hour. Blessings. Make sure that y'all hit that thumbs up. Make sure that y'all subscribe. And I'm gonna link another channel, uh, you know, um, to the community wall that you guys can go and subscribe to as a backup channel. And then of course you can subscribe to the Witch's Broom channel as a backup channel. We're gonna do everything in our power to make sure that this channel does not get flagged. And I think my spirits have some pretty ruthless karma plan for anybody that flags this channel falsely. Okay, because when I tell you they have lost their patience, I wasn't lying. They don't have no patience for any of these people that are operating like that. Okay, just saying. But I'll still go ahead and link it just in case. Okay. All right, y'all. I'll see y'all later. Have a blessed Saturday. Bye bye now.